What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keither.net for an E-mini S&P 500 Index Futures chart review. So we're going to look first at the 5-minute chart, and we're going to look at what happened overnight and what happened yesterday to lead in today's trade. So here I have it queued up already. I have not looked at today's action. I do not know what will happen from today. So yesterday we trended down for most of the day. And then around 12:20, we reversed and we went up. Now into the overnight, we did trend down a little bit. And then we went sideways for a little bit. And then we broke down. If you haven't checked it out already, go back and check out my 2 trade examples from last night. I was trading this action right here. And then as you'll see here, it did break down even further. And there you go. So if you go back and watch those trade example videos, you can see how I traded this live as it was happening overnight. I traded it off the tick chart, so it's going to look a little bit different than this, but same concept. You can play it the same way on whatever chart you'd like to look at. And that's that. So anyways, let's continue to see what happened overnight, and we'll get to the open here pretty soon. Just going to drag this forward. I want to see what happened right in the morning hours into the open. So you see we're starting to trend up a little bit right here. Let's see where we're at. We're at 5:30 a.m., so we got a little bit longer to go. We're at 6:50, so we're getting close to the open here. Okay, and that's the open right there, but let's pull back for a second. So overnight, we really broke down. We went sideways here, and we really bottomed and based out. And then early morning, around 3 a.m., we broke out. We pulled back to the 21 EMA. We broke out. We pulled back to the 21 EMA. And we broke out one last time before kind of flagging down here. And then right before the open, we broke up. So as you saw, I kind of revealed the first 2 candles of the day there on the 5-minute, but as I always say in my videos, at the open, it's very erratic. If the market did something before the open, there's a good chance that it's going to go do the opposite, at least for the first, few candles. And here we were trending up, we flagged out, and we broke out. So I would always expect this to pull back once we hit the open. And as we saw the first 2 candles, we know it did. But we're not going to play it like that. I'm going to go to the tick chart now, and we're going to go ahead and do our bar by bar analysis. And I guess I should say, looking at the overnight here, we trended down, went sideways, went up. We're going to pull back, and then I would look for some more continuation to the upside. But you don't know. So we'll see what happens. Here's the tick chart. We open up. And as you can see, I have some trend lines drawn in here from yesterday and before yesterday, price levels. I leave these in here until we move away from them, and then I go back and delete them, unless my chart gets too muddy. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. That's the one I just drew in. But especially one of the reasons I'm leaving this one in is because we have this upper line here and we have this lower line here that was part of yesterday's. And it kind of played it here. It came through here, it came down here, and it broke down here. But look, it came up, and now we're at this level again. So let's see how it plays it, if it does play it. And we'll leave those there for now. And look at that. It hit that, and now it pulled back. We're back to the 21 EMA. We're bouncing around, and we're going back down. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at here is, will it come back to this trend line here and hit it? Well, let's see what happens. Okay, it pulled back. We're back at the 21 EMA. And we're bouncing around here. We're really just waiting for direction at this point. Right now, we're just kind of trending, or not even trending, we're kind of drifting lower. And there we go. We did not come back and hit this bottom line, but we did come back and hit the top there. So let's see what happens. Okay, we broke out above this trend line here, and we broke out above the 21 EMA. So let's see what happens. It pulled back. It broke through it. Okay, and we did just create a lower low on the day, a new low on the day. So let's see what happens. Still kind of just waiting for direction here. And okay, we are down at this bottom trend line now, so we are still looking at this because while it broke out of it, it was a fake out breakout. It went out and it came right back in, and now it's touching the bottom. So let's continue to see here. If it makes a move up, this will be a play. If I haven't done the video yet, but I will be releasing a video soon explaining my strategies. It's a two-piece strategy. The regular strategy is pull back to the 21 EMA. On days where we're trending, which so far we're kind of trending here, we're more drifting, but we're in a certain range, we do play channel plays. So let's see. If we get a signal back to the upside, we will trade it back up to 1993, 1994 range right there. So that's a nice candle for reversal. And there's our signal bar, and let's look for an entry bar. And there's our entry bar right there. So we would have been in at 1991.25. So this candle would bring us in. This was our entry bar. This is our signal bar, and this is our entry bar at 1991.25. So let's continue forward. And we're looking for 1992.25 for a point. And we just hit it right there. So that would be one successful trade off the bottom trend line, assuming that it's going back to the top. So let's see if it goes to the top or it gets caught in the 21 EMA. And there we go. It did reject it at the 21 EMA. So we got that trade exactly. There's no guarantee that you would have got filled there, but for the purposes of this video, we did have one successful trade, a 4-tick, 1-point trade right there. And now we're just kind of playing along the bottom of that bottom trend line there. And let's see if it'll fall out or go back up. And we kind of broke out a little bit. Let's see how it plays it. One thing you always want to look for, if it breaks out of a channel or under a trend line, you want to see it break. And then a lot of times it'll come back and test it. So we broke out and we came back really quickly. It's not a sure thing, but if it comes up and hits this and it looks like it's going to move down again, that is a very good play. Now, ideally, for the purpose of my strategy, I would love for it to come back up and hit the 21 EMA. So let's see what happens. And it did. It came back up. So at this point, I would play with much caution to the downside because, again, this isn't much of a trend. It's more of a drift. You could say this is a huge flag. You could say this is a downward channel. You can see it getting tighter and tighter as we get closer or as we progress through the day. Over here, the lines were really far apart, and now we're getting closer. So in typical stock market patterns, this is a trend to the upside because we're getting tighter, tighter, tighter as we're going down. And eventually it should break out of the top and come up and start testing these highs here. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm not going to take a trade right now. And as you can see, it did come back down, and now it's testing it again. Okay, now here's a good sign. One, as I said, these two lines here are getting closer and closer. We broke above the 21 EMA. We tested this line here, and now we're sitting on the 21 EMA. So if I'm going to take a trade here, it all depends how it reacts off this 21 EMA. And there we go. We broke away from it. So I would say we're confirmed to downtrend right now, but it's still so tight right now. Okay, and now we're testing a new level here. I'm not sure what it is, and I don't want to go back right now, but this was a level that was drawn in from a previous day. And it's already 11 a.m., so let's keep moving and see where the market goes. Okay, now, since this market has continually drifted down all day, you could say there was a lot of misplays in here if you would have just determined earlier that it was a downtrend. So we're going to go ahead and start looking for a short trade here. Looking for a signal bar. And we're getting nothing yet. We're just kind of going sideways. And that's a signal bar, but it's a doji. So I'm really not going to play that. And again, keep an eye on these two levels here. They're getting tighter and tighter, closer together. So I'm actually going to wait and see how it plays out of this channel here. And we're at the top of the channel, and we're broke out once again. And just like back here, we're going to see how this plays out the 21 EMA. It could be a trade to the long side. Okay, finally, we have some good signals here. We broke out of the channel. We broke above the 21 EMA. We pulled back to the 21 EMA, and it just happens to be right near the top of this channel too. And finally, we got a nice signal here. This bar had no bottom wick, so the push down was not that strong. And then we have the white candle right next to it. Immediately matched the base and broke above it. So this is a signal bar right here. And we will go long anything above 1987.50. So 1987.75, we will go long. And let's see here. I'm gonna say that we would have canceled that, so I'm not gonna take it. But this is a new signal bar right here. So let's go 1988. We will be in this trade. 1988. And there we go. 1988, we're in. We're looking for 1989. And we got it right there. So that's another successful trade right there. Now, I did that kind of quickly, so let me explain. Our original signal bar was here. We did not get an entry. It did not break above this. It actually pulled back. So you could have traded this two ways. This would have been another signal bar, and your entry bar would have been here. And you would have been fine. You only would have came back to 1985.25. So a little over a point. You could have definitely sit through that. Now, I moved kind of quick, and I saw it here. Once I saw this, I knew it was breaking out above the few consolidation candles right here. And even it came above this. So that was a huge sign to the upside. And I took the trade here, and we got our point here. And let's see what it does after this. Okay. It immediately pulled back to the 21 EMA, so let's look for another entry bar for the long side. And we'll check the time here. It's only 12:44 p.m., plenty of time to trade still. So there's another entry bar right there. It is not the best trade. It got pushed up and it closed down here. There's a tall wick on the top. But since I already have two successful trades on this, I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit risky. If I do get an entry bar here, we'll go long 1988.50, which is a tick above this candle right here. 1988.50. Let's see what happens. Okay, we did not get that, so that is canceled. In fact, we pulled back. Now we're under the 21 EMA. So let's see what happens here. That's a nice reversal candle. Now, I'm not going to take a trade yet. I want it to come back into or at least above the 21 EMA to get some direction going. And we're going sideways, and now we're back down here at the low, this level here. And it is 1:25 p.m. We still have a little bit of time to trade. And we broke down a little bit. Now, another interesting thing is I left these channel lines in. I told you they were getting tighter and tighter, and it broke out here. But look at this. It came back, and three candles hit the exact top of the channel line there, the trend line. So let's see how it plays off of this. Right now, we're looking for it to pull back to the 21 EMA. And we'd go short again. And look at that. It came right back to the 21 EMA. It's not something that I would play, but you could definitely play this because we broke down below here. We pulled back to 21 EMA. We tested this level. If you had this drawn in, it's a very safe trade because you know that's some sort of support because it hit it all along here and into yesterday and yesterday's overnight session. Friday, I should say. It was Sunday yesterday. But anyways, it hit it and it came right back up. So that was definitely tradable if you wanted to trade that. But let's see what it does here. And now we're back up to the above the 21 EMA. And really, we're starting to kind of get a little bit of a flag action here. It flagged up. Well, it trended up. 1, 2, 3 legs. 1, 2. I'd be looking for a third leg down here if we get time. It's 1:50 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. That's not what I'm seeing right now. Okay. So we're at the 21 EMA. And I really think it's going to continue down, but it's not going to give us a signal unless it comes down here and hits the 21 EMA again. I'm going to be a little more aggressive because, as I was discussing, I think there is another leg down because we have 1, 2, third leg down, and we could go all the way to break this. And the reason that I'm being more aggressive here is because this level right here, it tested at 1, tested at 2, and it went through it. And 3, I think it's going to break through it. So let's go short. This is a signal bar here. We're going to use it as a signal bar. The signal bar was actually here, so we would have entered at 84 even. But since we're at this support level, I'm going to say anything below 83.75, so 1983.50, we're going to go short here. And we got knocked into the trade, and then it reversed. 83.50. Going to see what it does here because it's still below the 21 EMA, so let's see what happens. Okay, and I would definitely be out of that for a point loss. So two successful trades, 1 failed trade on the day. And I believe we're getting close to the close, 2:41 p.m. We're just going to let it play out. I'm not going to trade this late in the day. It's 3 o'clock. There we go. And that's the close. So not a great day. There was a lot of congestion, not a whole lot of big trends going on. If you wanted to veer off from the strategy, which I do not suggest, you need to have some kind of set strategy. You could have been way more aggressive on these moves down. As you can see, the majority of the move the whole day was down. There just weren't very many legs of the downtrend worth trading. But they were definitely tradable if you wanted to be more aggressive. So on the day, we had 2 successful trades and 1 failed trade. So that's a total of really 1 successful trade, 1 loser, 1 winner, and 1 winner on top of that. So not a great day. The strategy just didn't play out today. So that's it. I hope this was educational. You can kind of see what I see. And one thing I want to point out is on days like this, where I was constantly saying, okay, we're going to look for a long, we're going to look for a short, 2 things you need to be aware of. One, on those days when you keep flipping your decision on which way you want to go, you want to say, okay, are we sure this is not a channel day? Because that's the definition of a channel. It goes up, it comes back down to the same spot. It goes up to the same spot, it comes back down. A channel, it keeps hitting the same points over and over and over again. So if you're constantly saying going long, going short, going long, going short, you want to stop and say, hey, is this a channel? Can I draw channel lines in? And once you draw those channel lines, you can actually play those for trades. The second question you want to be asking is, maybe it's just sideways. Maybe it's not even a real channel. This channel was not that clean. It was clean here, 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 and here. And then it kind of broke out, and it kind of went sideways here. Even if you drew channel line here and here, it broke down and came down here. And then it came all the way back up here. So as you can see, there's a lot of bouncing around here. This is not a clear channel. This is really sideways action here. There's no defined levels. So, you know, you need to ask those questions and keep yourself safe. And if you're not good at trading channels, you just need to say, hey, today's not going to work for my 21 EMA pullback strategy. Maybe I'll sit on the sidelines. So that's it, guys. I still got to work on that video explaining my strategy, what I've done, where I've come from, and what I plan to do in the future. I'll get that up as soon as possible. And good luck in your trading.